What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another ratings review. Today, EA released the top 10 right wingers in NHL 21. Apologies for this video not being out earlier, but I was just kind of like finishing up, moving in here. And of course, we had the draft, which I actually just finished watching. I also live streamed some of it, so you guys want to see any of my reactions to certain picks, go check that out. But today, top 10 right wingers. Right, you guys can see all 10. So we'll start with number 1, Nikita Kucherov, 92 overall. I think that's a pretty fair rating for him. Obviously, 2 years ago, won everything like Drysdale did this year. Art Ross, I think he won the Ted Lindsay. He won the Hart Memorial Trophy. Cleaned up. In my opinion, he definitely is still the #1 right winger in the NHL. Played well this year in the playoffs. Definitely a big part of the Tampa Bay Lightning win that Stanley Cup. Number 2, David Pastrnak, 91 overall. I think Pastrnak is a very, very good player. Tied with him actually, number 3 is Patrick Kane. So some people might still think Kane is better than Pastrnak. Some people might say he's still the #1 right winger in the NHL. I think Kucherov definitely holds that title. I think Kane and Pasta being tied there is pretty fair. I think they're both elite. They're both, great players. So Kucherov, Pastrnak, and Kane being the top 3 right wingers in the game, I think they actually nailed perfectly. Not gonna lie, looking at this list, it's a lot better than the top 10 defensemen and goalies. Then number 4, you have Mikko Rantanen at 90 overall, who's actually tied with Mitch Marner at number 5, also 90 overall. Both good young right wingers. I think obviously Marner's a bit more of a playmaker, Rantanen a bit more of a finisher, but both I think at 90 overall is pretty fair ratings. Marner definitely was a bit better, I think, 2 years ago when he had his contract year. Rantanen, of course, still plays awesome with McKinnon, Landeskog on that Avalanche top line. Really, I can't argue with either of those either. After that, you have Tarasenko at 89 overall. Injury-plagued season. Tarasenko still one of the better goal scorers in the NHL. If you look at like the last 5 years or whatever, he's one of the best goal scorers in the NHL, always at the top there. So I think 89 for Tarasenko, definitely pretty fair. He's got good physical stats too, I'm sure. I've always seen him kind of like a lower end Ovechkin, and at 89 overall, it makes a lot of sense. And obviously, Ovi not being on this list means he's the left winger, as we already know. He's 93 overall. Mark Stone, number 7, 88 overall. Honestly, I think this might be a bit low for Mark Stone. He's just such a good two-way player. The way they break down the stats, like there's puck skills, shooting, skating, then you got the senses, physical, and defensive stats. I feel like Stone should have high ratings across the board, which would really boost up his stats. A guy like Kane's 91, really low physical, so he's got to have awesome offensive stats. I feel like Stone should just be high 80s across the board. Honestly, I think he should be like an 89. He's one of the best two-way players in the NHL as a winger. There was like a montage of him just making stick lifts or something in the playoffs. The guy's just such a good two-way guy. He can score too. He does everything. Personally, I think him and Tarasenko both being 89s would be a bit more fair. Then you have Wheeler at 88 overall as well. He's obviously dropped down a bit. A couple years ago, he was a bit more elite. I think, 88's probably fair for him. He's getting up there in age, but still a very, very good winger. Definitely, I think, a top 10 right winger in the NHL, so EA got that right. Number 9, you have his Winnipeg Jet partner there, Patrick Laine, 87 overall. Talking about Ovechkin, I think Laine is going to be like the second coming of Ovechkin. Not quite as good. When you watch Laine play, he scores a lot of similar goals, just clapping bombs. And I think 87 overall is still pretty fair for Laine. He definitely needs to work on his playmaking ability. He could, get some more assists. Pretty physical game too. So I think 87 is pretty fair for Laine. And then you got Andrei Tarasenko there at number 10, 86 overall. You knew they had to fit in the guy who pulled off the Michigan on this list. So it's very interesting, actually, that there's no other right winger 87 overall. Like, there's a pretty stark drop-off there after number 9. So I'm guessing there's probably a handful of guys at 86. With Svechnikov, I could see, say, like a Marchessault being 86 overall. I feel like William Nylander is probably also 86 overall. So there's probably a lot of guys, but they chose Svechnikov again because of the Michigan. So, like I said, looking at this list, without a doubt, this is the best list they've put out so far. Again, I think they could have had Stone a little bit higher, but other than that, I'd have to say I actually agree with this one. So I was tough on them with the goalies and the defense. Gotta give them props here for the top 10 right wingers. I think they actually did really good. Hopefully, the next ratings we see, probably top 10 left wingers are going to continue this path of actually good ratings. Same goes to the centers. I'm curious to see what they do with Drysdale because he just won all these awards. His rating better reflect that. Also, too, I'm hoping there's like a day 1 roster update where they fix Drew Doughty's rating along with some other guys, but that's probably wishful thinking. That's going to be it, guys, for this one. I know it's a bit shorter, but honestly, yeah, not much to say other than it's a good list. I'm happy with it. Hopefully, top 10 left wingers is another good list tomorrow. If you guys did enjoy this one, leave that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.